Welcome back to more Tokyo Extreme Racer. So last time, we defeated what is colloquially known as Stage 0. We basically cleared out all the C1, the rivals there, and now, yeah, we're really getting into the thick of things. We now have Stage 1 proper. A lot of rivals to take down, as you see here, so yeah. It's not going to be easy, but we'll see what we can do. So yeah. So because, yeah, our starter car might not cut it against the team leaders and bosses, so yeah, they're gonna need to think about an upgrade soon. But anyway, and yeah, once again, we do have the free storylines again. This is important because the bosses at the end give different upgrades, so we want to think about that. It's just that, yeah, they are definitely like, you know, all across the map. So yeah, we don't have much BP. I'm thinking of saving it too, because yeah, let's look at the perk tree again. Because yeah, as you see here, we can't get any more engine upgrades, or upgrades in general I should be saying again. I always default to engine because yeah, it is quite important in this game. Yeah, we can't get any more upgrades, so now we want to start thinking about other upgrades, like yeah, gain new cars, and there's definitely some good options, which I'll talk about later. Starting our driver perks too, so we can start leveling up our stats, but also we do have enough to get extra attack power, so yeah. You don't have enough for these though, so yeah. And then also, yeah, getting these passive buffs too, that's going to be very useful, especially because yeah, we can also unlock our caps too, because yeah, if we do decide to go on for a long night, we may start, you know, running into that problem, so yeah. But yeah, again, I was thinking, do I save up or not? Because yeah, it would make our life a lot easier if I do get this attack upgrade, but yeah, I'm actually going to see if we don't need it. That could be a big risk, but let's see if we can do it. So yeah, let's go change our tires to the hard tires this time. I'm going to try hard tires, because I see myself staying for a decent amount. I think we're going to do a lot of damage to the teams, but we may not fight a team leader. I think that's going to be our plan. So, how about we start with, let's zoom in a little bit more so we can, you know, have a better what to look at. Because, yeah, the place I want to go is over here, so I guess we're just going to go take this ramp and fight some traffic cars. So, yeah. So, going to Ginza. Out of the C1 loop, I should mention, Ginza is definitely the one I remember the most, because, Ginza is the one I remember the most because, well, Ginza's in Persona 5 as well. So yeah, let's go take on this guy. And like I said, what I want to do is I want to go to a new area of the map. So yeah, we're going to have some fun doing that. And like I said, I think, yeah, the idea is we're going to be doing a lot of damage. Again, like I said, I don't know if we're going to actually, you know, take on any team leaders today, but we shall see. But anyway, see, I remember Ginza because, again, Persona 5, but also, you had those, like, dividers. The AI does have a bad time trying to avoid them, so yeah, but anyway. Now we're here, we're on a different part of the map, and let's try taking on this Toyota BB. We are now on the Shinkanjo, or as it's called in this game, New Sector Route. Yeah, there's basically two names. And yeah, we actually might skip out on where I want to go, but that's okay, because again, these nameless ones actually have a pretty decent amount of health, so yeah. I want to go into that parking area, because yeah, I want to show what a parking area is like, so yeah, I'm going to turn around and show it after we kill this guy. Beat this guy, I should be saying. So yeah, let's turn around and let's go have a look. So yeah. So yeah, we're on, yeah, again, these are two names. Officially it's called the New Sector Route, which is what they call in this game, but colloquially it's called the Shinkanjo, which is what's called in all the games, so yeah, a little bit strange there. So, the parking area, and hey, this guy's here, let's talk to him. Yo, is this your machine? It's quite an interesting machine, but there are still areas to refine. If you let me tweak it a bit, I can make it much faster. Well, it's just a temporary tool, so your effect will only last a day. If you want to drive faster than usual day, I recommend it. Well, of course, there's a fee. How about it? Let's take it, actually, because our star card could use all the help it can get at this point, so yeah. Well, just step on its seat, the rest is up to your skills. Yeah. So there we go, so now we're rocking 160 PS, which is very nice. So yeah, there's a couple of things. So we can talk to people. So yeah, this is like talking to NPCs in a town in an RPG, basically. The yellow dialogue is important because it's either talking about current events, or in this case, wanderers. The more the clown's a rare street, Razor is a circus member. He appears with all those who defeat Road Lords, but even the Road Lords members don't know why. It's hard because he transfers schools a lot. As a child, due to the circus, had few friends, so he minus the youth of the Road Lords members and wants to protect them. That's not all though, he has another requirement. Highway gambler, there's no one as superstitious as him. Now he's saying, I want to battle someone with a total earned CP of 77,777,777 or more. Lucky 7, but or more, so it doesn't have to be exact. Does that even mean anything? Now we got the other dialogue. So this dialogue again, it may just, if it's against a rival they've already defeated, they kind of give you some more lore about them, as it's saying here. Again, I'm not so sure if I want to read this dialogue, because again, there's a lot of new dialogue here. And sometimes it could be also due to we haven't fought yet. So yeah, so then we get to learn a little bit more about them before we actually battle them, so that's cool. Anyway, here's someone I do want to voice, the Devil Roadrun. You got a good eye for detail. This machine's overwhelmed with demonic aura must have captivated you, right? Wahahaha, spending all my pocket money on dressing up is worth it. My name is Devil Roadrun. I'm the strongest demonic Xtreme racer that will punish the Shuto Expressway to chaos. In other words, I'm the demonic queen, remember that. Yeah, Happy Chappy's back. So yeah, so get to learn a little bit more about him. If it's someone that isn't a rival, then yeah, mainly they give you like tutorials or just other things, so yeah. That guy, yeah, he's saying that, yeah, we should talk to people, so yeah. Anyway, with that upgrade, I feel more confident taking on Big Dipper Media here from Infinity. You want to challenge me? Fine, I don't dislike those who challenge me head on, so let's go for it. Although that Mitsubishi Eclipse is pretty decent, so we shall see how that goes, so yeah. That's because, yeah, I'm only on the hard tires, so we'll see how it goes. So, parking area battles, there is a small little difference. As I'll show here. You actually start side by side. And we did get just very good. So yeah. And I'm actually pulling away from him, so yeah, whatever the whatever the legendary tuner did to my car, it's definitely helping. So yeah. Yeah, he basically, yeah, what the legendary tuner could do is, yeah, he can basically randomly upgrade one engine part, and he decided to go for the intake. And he actually did really well there, so that's good to see. And again, if you have a car that's probably underpowered for this stage, then yeah, it really helps. It really helps having him around. Not bad. But yeah, you don't want to rely on him though, because he'll eat through your money, obviously, so yeah. We can battle him again, but yeah, that's if I'm really desperate for PP, which I'm not, so. And yeah, well, being we actually got more dialogue here, so let's have a little look. And yeah, go to the parking area. Yeah, there's a lot of new dialogue. Silent Barbarian, the Yankee Nico restaurant manager, right? He looks tough, but he's actually a funny guy. However, the conditions of battle are quite strict. You can't show that you have passion for cars, he probably won't take you seriously. For example, owning 2 or more cars in your garage might do it. You'll likely find him at the Hakusaki parking area, so try looking for him now. Being a meme, he went by on who's driving a Martin 10. He's well known for his love of 4-door sedans. Lately, it seems like he wants to battle against the same cars, so you need to mirror match him. If you want to battle with the Wanderer Garage Horror, you need a certain level of skill. Remember, battles with him are nitro free, okay? So you can't use nitrous against him. Trader is Jackknife. Huh. Signs change. Even the person who stands at the top of the Shuto Expressways were in place over time. And now new forces rise. I want to see through this new era. Anyway, yeah, more clowns also here, so yeah. So yeah, those guys I'm talking about, those are Wanderers. Wanderers, again, if I don't think I talked about Wanderers that much, but yeah. What they're about is that they are special rivals that are actually quite difficult. But yeah, they have certain requirements that we need to fulfill in order to actually race them. So yeah, and they're very infamous in the series because a lot of them are very out there, let's just say. Like yeah, some of the ones in Tokyo Extreme Racer Zero and Tokyo Extreme Racer 3, you're not figuring out without a guide basically. So yeah. But anyway, sorry, may I start Infinity here, and yeah, another dude's at a parking area. So yeah, so I'm gonna, yeah, I'm actually gonna keep going up there. Again, there isn't too many rivals. Which isn't great, but hey, again, we can still fight the traffic though, so that's what I'm gonna do. So yeah, I have some topics for that too, but yeah, probably after this stage, that's probably when I'm gonna start cutting, because again, we still need to explore this map, so I still want to show that off. So yeah, and another good thing about parking areas, I should mention too, they cool down the engine automatically, so yeah, that's awesome. And also there you can change your tires or refill your nitrous as well. And yeah, changing the tires is really nice if you want to, changing the tires is good if you want to, keep racing in the night. And yeah, the big combo bonuses you can potentially get for running a long night too, they can basically pay for replacing the tires because yeah, it does cost money to do that, so yeah. So yeah. There's a lot of reasons to have a long night. Something I did in the last part, but I didn't actually point out, was that I got the long run bonus. The long run bonus gives a lot of CP, but you need to drive for 25 kilometers in a single night. And this can also stack with itself. If you drive 50 kilometers, you get another long run bonus. So yeah, it is in your best interest to try and stay, basically have the longest night you possibly have. And yeah, when you're starting out in this stage and there's only new rivals to fight, yeah, that's probably what you're going to end up doing anyway, because yeah, you want to make a big dent on the teams, and then yeah, you can start, taking on the rivals and stuff, so yeah. So there's that. So yeah, still a lot of things to learn, so yeah. And yeah, another thing about the long run bonus, I can also pay for changing the tires as well, so yeah, that's also another good thing, so yeah. There's a rival there, let's take him on, and then we'll, keep going. So, like I said, this is the new sector. I actually really like the new sector route. It's probably one of my favorite places to explore in this game, because, yeah, it actually has parking areas, and that does make cooling down the engine a lot easier. And yeah, another cool thing about it, it has a good mix of high-speed sections and corners, so yeah. So it's a decent place to test the car, although I do think that, yeah, the C1 is probably the best, because even though it doesn't have that many straights, again, if you can dial in, because trying to get the car's handling in a good place is a bit harder than trying to make it go fast, so yeah. Beat someone from Clan Makita, which is a new team in this game, so they're from Rise of New Generation. I guess I could go into more detail about what the 3 storylines represent. It's actually 3 different games, basically. That's one way of putting it. So yeah, so Rebirth of Legend is basically all the TXR games, like TXR 3 and TXR 0. Return of the Bastards is Import Tuna Challenge, because the theme is obviously Phantom 9, who debuted in that game, and it's also the game that came out before this game. And yeah, a lot of the rivals are either teams that come from Import Tuna Challenge, or basically teams that are kind of going down a more dark path, let's just say. Like Departures, as we saw in Stage 0. And then Rise of New Generation, it's either new teams or teams that have changed dramatically, so yeah. And then yeah, I don't really... I forgot to mention Rebirth of Legend, but yeah, Rebirth of Legend, yeah, it's basically all teams or teams that haven't changed that much since the last appearance, so yeah. I think I'm going to take on that 8-6, so yeah. We're now continuing on the new Sakura. If you go the other way, you go down the new Basal line, or Basal line, I think is what it's called. Both called the Wangon, and yeah, you probably might have heard that name because there's a manga called, an anime called Wangon Midnight, which takes place on the Wangon. Well, actually, it takes place all of Tokyo's highways, actually, to be more accurate, so yeah. The S86 is actually doing pretty good. Again, yeah, the newest ones are not too bad, but for the starter car, oh, that was unfortunate. That was very unfortunate that he just turned in like that, so yeah. That's okay. So yeah, again, the newest ones again, For your starter card, they might be a little bit challenging because, again, you're barely upgraded, and they also have a decent amount of health because they actually tend to be higher leveled than the other rivals, which is kind of interesting, but yeah. And again, like I said, you want that combo bonus, so beating them up is very good, so yeah. And there we go. We definitely want to have a nice long night this night, so yeah. Anyway, let's just cool down the car a little bit, so yeah. And yeah, you have this bridge, the rainbow bridge as it's known as, so yeah, it's a very nice looking place. Again, yeah, it is, you know, just urban stuff. I do like, on these Tokyo highways, they have some very nice scenery, and there's some really cool landmarks too. Is that be one place I wouldn't mind checking out in real life? It's just like, yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of traveling by planes and stuff, so yeah. I think if it was a lot easier, I wouldn't mind trying to explore new places and stuff, so yeah. Of course, yeah, I don't know how well I would fit in with Japanese culture, because it's like, I do know a decent amount about it, but I feel like I'll come off as like an outsider and be very like annoying, so yeah, I think that's my fear, so yeah. Anyway, we have more yellow dialogue here. Enthusiastic woman. I was recently invited by my boyfriend to try the Shuto Expressway, but I thought Streets is kind of a man's world. You know, there are actually a lot of girls there, right? All the sister types, Gyarus, and so on. It's not really the image I had in mind. Some cars seem completely decorated, and just looking at them gets me hyped. I still want to race, so I'm talking to my boyfriend and make my Shuto Expressway to B2. So that was just flavor, but hey, it did give us, it was yellow dialogue. Green Wild Child only comes to race on weekends. Well, even if he mean, he only races with Naniwa license-based cars. So that's another wonder requirement. So we got this dude from Racing Storm here. There's a Mirage. Then we got Akko the Overtop Nails, who's from Clan Makita, actually. Then you got Wild Bird here. Again, this dialogue can be kind of interesting. And I'm basically skimming it, and yeah, if I do find something funny, then yeah, I'll read it, so yeah. Irritated Scupper, yeah. You want to drive Bev, you want to call a sounding name. So yeah, we got two rivals from Clan Makita. Clan Makita will probably be one of the teams we might fight the team leader soon enough. So yeah, let's take on Infinite Rotary Kashiyama. What? You want to battle me? That's fine, but are you really confident? I don't want to waste time though. Okay, here we go. So yeah, Clan Makita, they mainly use K cars. That's their theme. Although I don't think the team leader uses a K car now I think about it, so that's kind of weird. So yeah, they're not too bad for your starter car, but yeah, the team leader might cause a bit of issues, because again, team leaders at this point don't mess around, especially if they're using a starter, so yeah. So you either want to drive better or get a better car, so yeah. But anyway, so yeah, then you have this section here, after Shibaru PA, and yeah, that leads you back to C1. And yeah, we're going to be taking that because I want to go back to that parking area we went to before, basically. And yeah, we're quite pulling away from it. And again, another good thing about parking area battles is you don't have to worry about your engine temperature, you just drive. You just drive, and then you'll cool down the engine when you come back. So yeah, no problem though. Oh wait, hold on a second. That's not it. It's strange. I can't. It's kind of odd for me to lose. I want to do it again, please, just one more time. And then we got Rapid Fill. What do you need? I'm about to go out on the course. You want to bar me? Fine, but don't say hell back because I'm a kid if you lose. I mean that's the most disrespectful thing. So let's take a run. Let's go. You won't regret it. So yeah, now we're getting into the, you know, the gameplay loop. So yeah, how about, yeah, topic time. So one thing I didn't do very well last time, okay, this is technically more tutorial stuff, but this will lead to a topic, so don't worry. So one thing I didn't really do a good job about last time was acceleration and top speed. So acceleration is quite important in this game because, yeah, you need it to have good launches, because if you don't have a good launch, this happens basically. There's also another mechanic we need to talk about too, this. So because now we have different areas we can go to, we need to determine which route we're going to go. So basically, yeah, it showed that, yeah, the rival is going down C1 inner, but here's the thing, you have your D-pad. So, and your D-pad is your indicators, or has your indicators. So if I press left, I can tell the rival to go left, basically. If that's what I want. And if I want them to go right, then I indicate right. So then they'll follow me, and then the battle still continue. Because if you go separate ways, it counts as a draw, which is basically just another loss. So yeah. Yeah, it's not that I'm not frustrated. I won't lose next time. They're bounty again. So there we go. Did we get more dialogue? Yeah, we did. Yeah, pretty much, yeah. You're always gonna get like, you're always gonna get, apparently these two are late. That's interesting. Yeah, pretty much making a little bit of progress generally leads to dialogue, especially this early on. So yeah. And let's see, these are NPCs. So yeah. And yeah, this is the largest one. And yeah, that's basically what I was talking about before. So yeah. Wait, this is what Cinderella plus Midnight, huh? Oh yeah, we don't really know much about her yet. If that's the case, I'll skip the number 92 of the Cinderella plus Midnight Banquet. Apparently she has a banquet too, so yeah. But yeah, we can't just met her, but she is a big deal, let's just say, so yeah. We'll definitely learn more about her later. Hey, this is talking about drive trains. Yeah, there's front wheel drive cars, FF, rear wheel drive cars, FR, and then four wheel drive cars. That's how it goes. Although there's also MR cars, although there's only like one type of MR car in this game, Honda NSX, so yeah. Although I think there's some others, but yeah. Hey, this also thinks that braking power is good, although you don't really need the brakes too much. And yeah, this is just talking about our name, Weekend Worker, which is kind of thing because I record on the weekends now, so yeah. And you're talking about Wanderers, oh boy, so yeah. And now we have a new ramp from this parking area. So now, yeah, what I want to do is I want to actually go back here. Because, yeah, there is something kind of cool we can do there, basically. And yeah, let's have a look at progress. Yeah, Klamakina only has one person left, and they're over there, so that's interesting. So we could definitely knock them out. But again, I'll just show off I'm confident in the team leader, so yeah. So yeah, we need to go out here, so let's do it. Anyway, so let's actually talk about some topics now. So, I was talking about acceleration Totsi. Again, acceleration is very important because you need to have those good launches. Because if you do that, you get ahead, and then yeah, you can start building a lead. That's why it's important. But then also, top speed is also very important, and the reason for that is because the reason why top speed is important is because well, there's the Wangan and Yokohane lines. Or, yeah, it's called Facial Line, but I'm very used to calling it Wangan, so yeah. So you're probably going to hear me call it Wangan a lot. So yeah, they're very important because, and yeah, that's why you want to indicate. It's a mechanic in all the TSR games, but it's a hidden mechanic, but I did know about it. People were complaining about draws in all the games, but again, I think it's because, again, the game doesn't explain that, yeah, you can use your indicators to tell the rival to go where you want. But only if you're ahead, by the way. If you're behind, you have to follow where they go, so keep that in mind. So acceleration Totsi, again, you need those good launches, but again, Totsi is very important though, because you have the Wangan and the Yokohane lines, which are basically mostly straight, although Yokohane is more high-speed corners, so yeah. So there's that. Let's take on another truck. I don't think the trucks give that much money, but hey. They are more combo bonus stuff, so yeah, let's take one. Is it the big and heavy, which isn't great for racing, so yeah. But anyway, so back to talking about things. So back to talking about things, and yeah, just the corner there, that's unfortunate, that's okay. So again, top speed is very important because, yeah, yeah, you need it for the long gun, definitely, so yeah. So, when we're gonna tune our car, we're gonna have a balance between acceleration and top speed later, so then yeah, we're gonna be good everywhere in the Tokyo highways. So yeah, so what I'm gonna talk about now is yeah, how like acceleration and top speed in like other games, because yeah, there was something very interesting I learned about another racing game that came out this year, Sonic Racing Crossroads. So there's this YouTuber called Fast Clingy, who yeah, he's related to Big Clingy because they're the same person. We're gonna take out Uma Dandy. The problem is he might want to go C1 because Quick's team is focused on C1. So yeah, but luckily I can get ahead of him and I can tell him to go right, so no problem there. So yeah, let's talk about that. So yeah, basically he did a video talking about the stats, acceleration, crosshold, and the weird thing about that game is acceleration being bad, basically. Not being useful. And that kind of shocked me because yeah, I feel like acceleration is normally very good in arcade races. And yeah, we're getting a lot of money thanks to that big combo burst. That's awesome. So yeah, what I want to do now is I kind of want to go the other way. I mean, actually, no, I could go the parking end on this side. Because there's still rivals going forward. And there's another rival, oh boy. Yeah, rivals actually going this way, so I actually want to keep going this way, actually, but anyway. Anyway, here's Gothic the My Lord. You're already defeated. How is that line? Of course, straight in these cool lines, right? If I had game crowd, what would I say? Oh, I'm Gothic the My Lord. You're the one who's been racing around there lately, right? Nice to meet you. Yeah, he's a otaku, so yeah. And yeah, Upbeat, who we defeated a little while ago. Wrong guy now 4. Hey, Cinderella plus midnight. Good evening. What a nice night. How's it going? Let's see. It looks like you're working hard, but it's not ready to challenge you, I think. Sorry, but I don't feel like I gain anything from racing you right now. One day, become a special street racer and battle me. I'm looking forward to it. So yeah, she's one of our big goals, I guess. And yeah, this is talking about wandering inside from Tri-Edge. Interesting enough. And there's another otaku who's talking about four-wheel drive cars. So yeah, I feel like the otakus get made fun of a lot in this game. So yeah, which I guess makes sense. Yeah. Interesting about Rolling Guy, there's two teams that are similar to them, Roulette Guy and Rolling Girls, so yeah. And here's a woman who brushed up her hair, so her hair does look quite nice, I must admit. And yeah, again, you don't have to stay out for super long like I am, but it is definitely not bad. And yeah, so let's see, so there is a rival here, and there's another rival here. Or, of course, you can go the other way. The main reason I want to go the other way is that, I think, yeah, if we go this way, we will fight Pan Mikita's team leader, but you know what? Actually, no. We still have... It's fine, because, yeah, this is the only person, so we're actually going to be fighting other teams. That's fine. And yeah, I did see a Ribbon Box person too, I believe. They're the person that's behind here, so we can also fight them as well. So you know what? Yeah, let's, wait up for them and let's battle them. Yes, I do want to take on Ruin Blocks because I really want to do Rebirth of Legend because then we get more engine upgrades. So yeah, I do recommend trying to aim for Rebirth of Legend first because yeah, you get engine upgrades and engines are very important in this game. There's a rival right there, but yeah, let's wait up a little bit. Oh, but that is someone from far away, and they're driving an R32 GTR, which is very scary, so yeah. So let's just turn around and find them, I think, because again, the engine's cooled down, and we're actually not heating it up too badly, so yeah. But again, this is why we got the Legendary Tune upgrade. It's so that, yeah, I can feel more confident take on these potentially very dangerous rivals, so yeah. So yeah, we'll let Dandy pass and we'll take on this guy. So yeah, again, things are getting quite scary. I definitely want to get a new car soon, so yeah. So I can feel a little bit more confident. So yeah, we're taking on Roomboxer, Raging Choreographer. So let's take on these guys. Mainly drive K-Wagons or Wagons. Because the reason why is so that they can carry that music equipment. So yeah. And yeah, we got long run right there, 100,000 CP. That's very good. So yeah. So yeah, let's take them on here. And yeah, most of these guys are under level 5, which means that they give 5 BP on their first defeat, and 1 BP if you rematch them. So that's how that works. And of course the traffic doesn't give any, so yeah. But anyway. So yeah, let's keep it up. Again, like I said, I could technically go on for as long as I want, but yeah, again, I think I'll go until either my win streak breaks or again, I feel like I want to go back. So yeah, let's try and take on this Condor. But again, he's driving an R32 GTR or BNR32, as it says up there. The Nissan GTRs, or Skyline GTR is its full name, are very good cars, very solid cars. They're four-wheel drive, they have the Atessa all-wheel drive system, which makes them actually feel more like rear-wheel drive cars. So it's kind of like a best of both worlds thing, and they have a decent amount of power, but they are decently heavy. So they can't take the corners super fast sometimes. Unless, you know, the person driving the car is actually good, which, yeah, this guy, he's alright, but he's not amazing, so yeah. But yeah, someone like that, yeah, if there's a team either driving a car like that, that is very worrisome, because this guy's actually keeping up pretty decently, so yeah. And there we go. He does at least give us a pretty decent amount, so that's good. So yeah, good to see that. Good to see that, yeah, the Sweat is still not doing a too bad job here, so yeah. Sammy, yeah, I want to talk more about, yeah, Acceleration.c, because I'm just doing kind of weirdly there. Again, I was actually very surprised that in the end. Sorry, Acceleration is actually not that great, but one thing I do quite like, though, is how handling is not that game. Like, yeah, cars that focus all in on handling, handle like, they gain speed when they handle, which is really cool. And really interesting. Let's see if we can take on the Velfire, because it's a minivan, but it does have a decent amount of power, I believe, so yeah. And it's mostly straight, so let's see if we can shrug them on. Because it has a pretty big engine, that's why it has a decent amount of power, but it's very heavy though, so the power to weight ratio isn't the best anyway. So again, handling is really fun in Slam Racing Crossroads. I don't mind doing handling builds in that game, I must admit. So yeah, because gaining speed while cornering just sounds really fun. So yeah, in a racing game. So yeah, but yeah, other builds are interesting too. Like yeah, speed builds, boost builds would be extreme gear. It's a game I'm definitely interested in. I haven't bought it yet just because it is still kind of a full price game. So I'm gonna see if I could get a better deal down the line. Especially because yeah, it is a I think this guy's actually gonna go down facial line, which is kind of unfortunate because as you see there, which is kind of unfortunate because yeah, I want to take on more ribbon box people, but that's okay. We'll deal with them later. Yeah, so that's the thing about these people that are on this section of the new sector route. They could be going down the facial line, so yeah. Oh, yeah, I guess we can take on this BB then instead. Anyway, so yeah, let's deal on that. Again, yeah, like I said, yeah, I wouldn't mind playing Sunrise Crossroads. I think the thing is though, is that it does have the pretty similar kart races single mode where yeah, you're basically just saying the Grand Prix, which I'm fine with, but I kinda I feel like yeah, I would have definitely picked it up though if it had a full on campaign, I must admit. So yeah. Yes, I don't know. Like, I really like, of course, Need for Speed Top Pursuit Remastered, which again, that doesn't really have progression, but it has a lot more events, it feels like, and a more event variety, which is kind of why I prefer that over, you know, the kart races and their cups, so yeah. Like, yeah, I think that, yeah, Need for Speed Pursuit Remastered, or Top Pursuit 2010 as well, they're such really well-designed games, in my opinion, so yeah. That's why they're very social games to me, so yeah. And that's why, yeah, I like to show on the channel from time to time, so yeah. Man, we got another rival here. We don't need to go into the parking area, so we can just skip out. Although, it would be kind of nice to get better tires, I must admit. I mean, here's Foreign Bookkeeper from Road Mods, another new team to the series. And yeah, this one has interesting references. Yes, yeah, that's something I forgot to mention last time, because yeah, one thing I did during the week was I ended up reading the TV tropes page for Tokyo Xtreme Racer, because yeah, that's a thing, which I wasn't expecting, but yeah, they have a lot of information about references for these rivals, so yeah, it's worth checking out if you want to learn more about them. So, the Challengers team, apparently the members are based on Doraemon. I have no idea what that is. I can't remember if it's a Japanese show or manga, but yeah. It sounds interesting though. And then this team, Roadnauts, some of their team members have cars that are inspired by superheroes. And Western ones, actually. Which is very apparent with the team leader, I will say. But anyway, we have another dangerous rival here, Miracle Flamingo, also from far away, and he's driving a Supra. The A80 Supra, another classic Japanese sports car. And also very expensive nowadays because, yeah, because of its, fame. So yeah. So let's try taking him on here. Yeah, the AA Supra, yeah, it's mostly a pretty good option in these Tokyo Extreme games. It has good power, it corners decently well, and yeah, in Import Tuner Challenge, it's the car I decided to use the beat back in, so yeah, it's definitely very good. It struggles a little in this game because it doesn't have the best acceleration compared to its main competition, but again, it's still pretty decent. Anyway, let's cool down the engine a little bit once again. So yeah. So back to talking about acceleration again, I do feel like strong acceleration is sometimes like really good in kart races because again they do have brake to drift. Well, it's basically brake to drift. So then yeah, it's all about getting those very strong exits and then turbo boosting or I forget what the term is, but yeah, you basically in a lot of kart races, yeah, you drift and then you get a boost after you drift. So that's why, again, I can see acceleration be very good. Although, yeah, some speed builds I remember being kind of good in some races, well, car races too. I think in Mario Kart 8, I'm generally used like very heavy builds. I think it was more like the character was heavy, but they mainly used more handling, high acceleration builds, which is kind of interesting. Like I remember, I think one build I remember really liking for Bowser's Castle in Mario Kart 8 was Mel Mario and the jet bike, I think it was called. And yeah, I still actually want to continue on this area because yeah, we have Irresponsible General. So yeah, let's take him on. I need to cool down the engine a little bit afterwards, but that's okay. Yeah, it's really like split slot. It's kind of interesting, anyway. So yeah, now we're 4 out of 6 at Clan Makita, so that means one more member and it's team leader time, so yeah, that'll be something to maybe fear. Yeah, our win streak though is looking very good. We're going to be earning money very quickly, so yeah, but yeah. One problem with doing this though is that yeah, I did decide to skimp out and get new tires, but the hard tires are doing a lot better than I thought they would, so yeah, I'm never going to think about them for these very long nights, so yeah. That we're potentially going to be doing, so yeah. So that's Irresponsible General done. And like I said, yeah, one more member from Clan Mikita, and it's team leader time, so yeah. So that's going to be interesting. And yeah, another person from Roadnaut's Common Advisor. So let's take him on. So yeah, we're making a good dent on these teams in the new sector routes, so that's good to see. But there's still rivals on the other side, so yeah, we're gonna need to think about that. And again, like I said, that parking area that I was at a little bit earlier, well, I passed by, yeah, we could use that to go the other way basically, but again, there's still a lot of rivals on this side, so yeah. Of course, if you want a more quicker way to go the other side, you can just end the day, but yeah, you also lose your win streak bonus though, but then of course you can obviously upgrade your car, so yeah. And now our win streak bonus means that we get double our winnings, which is really cool. So yeah. So yeah, we did a very good job today. And yeah, we're also coming up to our second long run bonus too, so yeah, we could definitely end the day soonish, but again, we could still keep going to be honest, so yeah. And if I really want to, I could also, I can't save. You can't save while you're in the parking area, but of course I could end the part and then start the next part. So that's another thing I could do. Also, I just realized like I'm not paying attention to my engine temperature very well. So yeah, let me do something about that. So yeah. So back to the tournament marker. Again, like I said, I think yeah, at least 150cc, because 200cc you want to go all in on handling and acceleration, because yeah, it kind of feels impossible to drive something that's remotely heavy, so yeah, from what I remember at least. Man, 150, yeah, something like that. A heavy character, but then you can't drive like something light, like the pipe frame or the jet bike, like I said. Bikes are pretty good in Mario Kart. I remember actually playing with quite a bit, which is kind of weird because they were overpowered in Mario Kart Wii because they had more tricks up their sleeve. Like, they could wheelie, they could, they had that inside drifting, a lot of them did, which was way faster. It basically meant that yeah, you could corner way faster than the regular drifting, so yeah. So there's that. Again, Mario Kart Wii is definitely a very interesting game in its own right too. Again, most people I feel like remember it for just the most people remember it for, just being, having the insane item spam, rubber banding stuff and all that, but yeah. I do think that, yeah, it is a pretty interesting game, I must admit, so yeah. So yeah, I wonder with the upgrade how, like, fast it could go. Yes, yeah. We're roughly 189 kilometers now, which I think is pretty good for this section of the game, but yeah, we could do better with a better car, so yeah. So definitely think about that. Again, like I said, one way you can end the night 2 is, one way you can also end the night 2 is, yeah, get to that 10 million CP. Because then, yeah, you can't obviously get more money, so yeah. There's that second one, we're bonus, awesome, so yeah. So let's see, yeah, I'll take on the Alto as well. So we got the other parking area again. If I really want to, I can like go in there and change my tires again. I'm gonna make so much money off just like, yeah, the price of paying for them is gonna be like, yeah, it's not gonna be a worry, I think. Like, yeah, I do think that, yeah, once we do get back to the garage, we'll be able to buy a new car. So yeah, I'm definitely very excited about that. And there we go, defeat them pretty easily. So yeah, again, do I... let's look at the map again. What are we close to doing? So yeah, none of these. Far away still has a decent amount to go. And 2 of them in the blocking areas too. And then, yeah, the main thing is that, yeah, we actually can't do climbing here because none of the rivals are there, so we might need to go to either parking area or end day. But yeah, Roadmort still has a pretty decent amount though. And they mostly go the other direction, so that's good to know. We could even take on them, to be honest, but let's see. And then Quicks, they are C1. That's their focus. Both sides of the C1. So yeah, that's mainly all we could do, because pretty much everyone else is in the other areas of the map, so yeah. So again, we could take on Road Lords if we do go the other way of the new circle route. So yeah, again, I'm thinking, do I end the day now though? Because I did get, the long run bonus. I think we do actually. Because again, I need to go the other way anyway, and I can't change Klamikia's team there. So you know what? Yeah, let's end the day now. I could go for longer, but then by doing this, then yeah, I don't need to, by doing that, then yeah, I don't need to, just drive around more. Although, again, it's actually not bad to drive excess amounts because, yeah, there's some wonders you need to drive obscene amounts of kilometers, so yeah. So it didn't actually take on any team at all, but our perk tree though is going to look very interesting. So let's talk about good cars to replace your starter car. So yeah, the K cars maybe not so much because they have even less power, and yeah, that's what these are mainly. But then let's start with Honda here. Here's the Honda Civic Type R, a very good front-wheel drive car that also has really exceptional handling. I used it in my first playthrough and yeah, it served very well. Mazda has the Mazda 3, which apparently isn't that good in this game, although it looks very cool, so that kind of makes it a bit sad. And it can lead to you getting the Mazda Excella or Tenza. I believe this is called the Mazda 3 and Mazda 6 in other parts of the world. So on Mazda, you can also get the MB, or NA, sorry, NX5. The MB is over here, so yeah. You get that too, but it's quite similar to the ND, so you probably don't need it. Nissan does have a very good option though in the 180SX, sorry, the S13, because yeah, you need this for a Wanderer. And then you could also get the other S13, the Silvia. That's also not a bad option either. Like yeah, these two, again, they have decent power, they're rear-wheel drive, they're not bad. Pretty decent options. Then we got Subaru with the BRZ. The BRZ is also a very good option. FR, very good power, very good for upgrades too. It's a very good choice. So yeah, we'll definitely be thinking about that. Then yeah, there's more Suzuki K cars, and then obviously the Swift. But yeah, again, they're K cars, so the power is limited. And then we got Toyota, who has the BB, which is the for Wonder. So it's definitely not a bad thing. And then there's also the freaking FJ Cruiser. So yeah, this is if you want a meme. And then Toyota also has the 11, which is the same as the Sprinter Trainer basically, except it looks slightly different. So yeah, it kind of feels like a waste of DP. But after that is the 8.6. Now the thing is, you may have noticed, it looks very similar to the BRZ. They are twin cars, but the thing is though, is that the BRZ is way better because it's a newer 2016 model. The 8.6 is only a 2012 model. So the BRZ is just way better. So yeah. So if you want the 8.6, you might as well just buy the BRZ. And speaking of which, I think the BRZ is what we're going to graduate to. So yeah. So now let's think about other things. So let's go into perks here. So I think, yeah, let's get better battle rewards. And I think I'm also going to lower the tune cost too. And then... is there anything else I want? Like, yeah, I could also increase our BP and CD limit, but yeah, we didn't get close to 10 mil, so I'll think about it, because again, we can't technically afford it, but we can't really afford anything else. So instead, yeah, another thing we can think about is driver, because yeah, we could increase our stats, which is definitely not a bad thing. So yeah. So yeah, I'm thinking, yeah, I'm gonna see what upgrading the BRZ does to us, because we can afford it. So yeah, but yeah, let's keep looking at the flex, because another thing that can also help with buying a new car, obviously, is making it cheaper. So yeah, which yeah, we can get from negotiation here, but we need to also get new territory first, though. So yeah, we can't afford it. So yeah, let's buy the BRZ and decide what to do next, basically. So yeah, let's go to Subaru, and let's buy, yeah, the Subaru BRZ. This is going to be our next car, so yeah. Because, yeah, it's either, yeah, pretty much at this point, yeah, you either choose the BRZ, or you try to use the Civic. Both are very good options. So, it's a Subaru. Subarus are well known for this blue color, so I'm going to keep that, but for the license plate, I do want to do something specific. Because, yeah, remember... there was a dude that said that we need a Naniwa plate, so let's go get that. So where could Naniwa be? So you'll go here, I believe it's here. I believe this is Naniwa. And I'll keep everything else the same, because again, I kind of like the first you can do that, so yeah. Now the question is, do we have enough for upgrades? Let's find out. Probably not, so... I did lower the cost a little bit, so let's see. We can get power unit level 2, which is very good. We can get exhaust level 1. You can get intake level 1. Brake. I think we can afford that. Clutch. Let's get that. LSD. LSD could be quite nice with this, so yeah, let's get that. Suspension, obviously, that's going to help our handling out a lot. And then transmission, obviously, also going to help out a lot. Body, you can afford that good. For better agility. And then finally, tires, yeah, we can afford everything also. So yeah, let's do some tuning. Now, one thing I am making use of is there's a very good guide on Steam about this game. It basically gives you some like tuning chips for these cars, so yeah. So I'm basically making use of that right now. At the moment, we can only adjust the ride height, but we do want to adjust everything else later, so yeah. Then there's front and rear done. And yeah, obviously want to keep the tire width the same. Brake, we want to keep the same. LSD, we can upgrade this, so I'm going to go with the 1.5. And then we're going to go +3 and +7. I guess, yeah, the tuning that this person gives, I do like it. It makes the cars feel very planted and very easy to drive, basically. So, yeah. And also, yeah, it helps with the gearing, too, because, yeah, gearing can be a bit difficult sometimes. So, yeah. So, we're going to go 2.2 springs and 5.5 foot dampers. And then finally, transmission. the interesting thing about this sort of the transmission is that they kind of copy real life gear ratios, which I find kind of interesting. We're actually only adjusting first and second. So we want 2.946, which I pass through. Basically what we're doing is that we're also making it so that we start in an optimal speed, basically, or optimal gear for better launches, basically. So yeah. So like I said, let's go with 2.946. There we go. And then second gear is going to be a little bit lower than it actually is. It's 2.011, so yeah. Oh, I missed it by one. And I completely reset, so yeah, that's unfortunate. Yes, yeah, you can also set like this, basically. That was actually really close to what we need. So there we go. Now, yeah, I need to put this all the way back down. And then all the way back up again. Yeah. There you go. And that's all we need to do right now. So, yeah. That basically just makes acceleration better. So, yeah, I'll show the arrow. Which I think we can afford, question mark? No, we can't. So, yeah, we're keeping it base for now, but that's okay. So let's go to livery and let's add a new livery. I do like this blue, but let's say there is one wanderer who does want specific colors, so I do wonder if I go with another kind of blue. I could, you know, go to the official color and then do this. Maybe add to maybe make it a little bit darker, I think. Like that. That looks pretty good. I mean, I'm gonna go with this. I could make it more metallic, but I don't really like what it looks like. So yeah, I mean, I'm gonna go with this. I think I do want to keep it blue because it is a Subaru. Because again, Subarus are no flat. Sticker. What kind of sticker do I want? Again, I think I'm just gonna put. I mean, I could put it everywhere to be honest. So yeah. So another stick you can put on is rival emblems. These are the rivals you defeated. There you go. How about some corporate logos? I think C West on the side right there, so let's put it there. So we're just gonna have a little bit of fun with some customization here. But again, you can't do body yet, or arrow I should be saying. We'll think about that later, I guess. So is there any other interesting ones here? By scrolling through the end. That doesn't look like it, so... Wall. I can't really see of a character from Crossbow. So I think I'm gonna go with... Let's try Varus on this side though. And then for the rear, I do have an interesting idea. Let's put the Departures logo, because again, they are a Subaru team, so it makes sense, right? Gotta be driving a Subaru. And then yeah, the vinyl, I got an interesting idea, so yeah. Although I guess it's not, you know, the most interesting in the world, but hey. So I'm gonna go to Art Factory 2. I think I want something from here that I remember liking a lot. Yeah, it's this one right here. Yes, yeah, I really like the yellow with the blue and stuff. It looks really cool, so yeah. So I think I want to go with something like this. And I'm going to mirror image it. That does look pretty cool, so yeah. And yeah, even loops not badly at the top there either, so yeah. So I think that's what I'll go with, but I do want to add a little bit more to the front, so yeah, let's do that. So yeah, let's do the front. I think I'm going to go back to technology here. And I might actually try this one here. That does look pretty interesting, so yeah. But another thing you can do is that you can kind of make it a little bit smaller too. But yeah, I gotta basically spend all day, you know, doing livery stuff in this game, so yeah. Yeah, because it is quite fun. So I think I'm gonna do something like this, and then like put it a little bit above here. So there we go. It does look very colorful, so that's what I like, so yeah. Yeah, I don't know if it's, the most cohesive thing in the world, but hey. I do think, yeah, this could look really cool with a body cut, so yeah. So yeah, what else do I want to add? Maybe something at the top? Basically kind of complete the look. I don't know if I want anything from here. Yeah, I like using the technology ones a lot, actually, so yeah. Let's see if I want something from Art Factory 2. I guess the only thing about, putting something at the top is, yeah, you're probably not going to see it that much in gameplay, so yeah. That's something else to think about. I'm not sure. You could also put a rival sticker on here too. It's kind of interesting, so yeah. Like I could put, that, for example. Actually, no. I got a better idea. I have a letter. And I put one of these Japanese symbols. I have no idea what they mean, so this is going to be very awkward if I put something very weird, so yeah. So I'm going to do that. You can also change the color of these two. I'll make it like yellow as well. There we go. Perfect. I mean, this is what we're going to go with. So yeah, I might put some more on the sides. I'm not so sure. So yeah. Or maybe something at the back too. So I have something interesting to look at while I'm driving. So yeah. I actually, kind of mirror the front. I'll put another technology at the back again. Maybe this one. Because it's colorful. Another thing you can do is, yeah, one thing I forgot to mention, or was going to mention, is that, yeah, you can also change the layers. So then, like, I can put this at a lower layer so it doesn't clash super badly. So, yeah. Yeah, I think I can go with this. We're going with a very colorful look here. So, for example, here, I can re-edit, I believe, is what you actually have to do. And then, yeah, I can put these at the bottom. Like so. So there we go. I think that's going to look a lot better. So yeah. So we got a nice colorful looking Subaru. Let's decide on that. And yeah, that'll be it for now. So yeah, we got a new car. Awesome. And yeah, we're going to be making use of it very well. We're going to be making very good use of it coming up. And yeah, I think, yeah, we do still have a bit of BP left, so let's go back into the perk. Actually, to be honest, I kind of want to save up now. Like, yeah, I think most of what I want is probably on this side, so yeah. Because I'm thinking about the lay service of that. That one's very useful for taking on a lot of rivals, but yeah, we can also, maybe try to get more prize money, maybe try to, lower the tune cost a little bit. Like, yeah, there's also something great like, the technical bonus. There's also the perfect bonus you can also increase too, so yeah. There's a lot to think about. One of these two could be very good, so yeah. Either the technical bonus or the perfect, or actually it's this one here. You know what, yeah, let's go for it. I think, yeah, this will be our next upgrade I'm going to go for. Well, it kind of depends on how the BP economy is going, but yeah. But we're good on car for now, and again, I don't think I need to get any skills because we have a very overpowered car for this point, so yeah. But anyway, that'll be it for this very long part. It got very long because, yeah, we have a all new car, obviously, but yeah. But anyway, next time, yeah, we're gonna be, using a new BRZ, and we're gonna see how well it can do, so yeah, against all these rivals and these team leaders and stuff, so yeah. Look forward to that, and I'll see you guys again for that.